Welcome to Library Creamy and welcome to Library Cleaning. It has been more than 3 months since Nintendo came up with the latest generation of their Pokemon games, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Even though the game has some bugs and glitches, I personally have been enjoying the game very much, apart from the cursed sandwich making and the fact I tried for more than 2 months to hatch a shiny Sprigatito to no avail that is. But I wanted to talk about something else, another Pokemon game generation on Nintendo Switch, but something I didn't enjoy as much and didn't really care for, thus collecting dust in my collection of games. That's right, I will talk about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which I will refer to as BDSP for convenience. When Pokemon BDSP came out, it seemed like almost nobody liked the game, so I didn't really think of buying the game. But one day I found out that I could get the double pack of BDSP for less than $50, shippings included. So I got the double pack from Japan, and luckily it wasn't a scam. By the way, did you know it is pronounced as Arceus? Because I always said Arceus. Then I claimed my gold points for the games, and then with accuracy and determination I put the game in my Nintendo Switch and started playing. And did I finish the game? Did I enjoy it? Well, before we get into it, I have to confess something. I have not played Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which are the original versions that BDSP are based on. I never owned one of them two-screen Nintendo consoles, so I have no choice but to compare the game with other Nintendo Switch Pokemon games, which are Let's Go Eevee, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was in development around the same time as BDSP, even though it came out after BDSP. And I will be using pros and cons list because I am not certain Mr. Micro Scott. And I might start with pros because people around me tell me I should look on the bright side of things. Let's clean that dust off. Pro number 1. In-battle graphics. Even though I didn't really care for the game, I do admit the game has somewhat decent battle graphics. The background of each battleground seemed detailed enough, and Pokemon in general looked smoother when compared to other games on Nintendo Switch. Even though I absolutely adore Pokemon Sword since it was the first Nintendo Switch game I got, and yes, it came with my Nintendo Switch, and yes, I was ripped off, I must admit the graphics were not that great. Some Pokemon moves were just something out of sync, reminding you of the ones from early generation games. And for Pokemon Let's Go, the battles were not really a big part. It's mainly catching Pokemons, and the background just looked like a sophisticated version of Pokemon Go. But on BDSP, each move graphic of Pokemon was better than previously released games. Pokemon actually move and attack in sync with the move they use, most of the time that is. And the background on each battlefield was a great improvement when you compare them with the simple and a bit muted out background of previously released Nintendo Switch games. Just look at the lava right there. I love the background graphics. See what I did there? Except for the Team Galaxy battles. Just what is that? Pro number 2. The Great Underground. There will be a moment or moments that you find yourself actually liking the game you are playing. Pokemon games did have that. For me, they were, for Let's Go, just the cuteness overall. On Pokemon Sword, the train scene before you enter Wild Area, because that is what you do when you travel with your friend. And for Pokemon Arceus, Flying Gyarados. And as for Pokemon BDSP, that was the Great Underground. While playing, I found out that the Pokemon variety above ground in the tall grass was not very diverse. And I wondered, what should I do to catch more Pokemon? And then, I found the Great Underground, and there were diverse ecosystems in there, and you could actually encounter and expect which type of Pokemon you will engage, just like I could in other Pokemon games on Switch. And there was of course the excavation. I enjoyed it very much. I stayed in the Great Underground for hours digging the wall, entering and exiting each ecosystem, wondering what kind of Pokemon or fossils I would find. However, if I had to nitpick, I do remember decorating my secret base above ground in Pokemon Sapphire with Pokemon plushes and furnitures. But I found out on this game there was no furniture, no soft squishy Pokemon plushes, just stone cold Pokemon statues and some pedestals for them only. Well, that was a bit disappointing, but hey, you can't win it all, can ya? And just a little pro. If you have tried to breed shiny Pokemon before, you will understand how annoying it can be to get a foreign Pokemon, especially a Ditto. I cannot tell you how many times people just dangle the shiny Japanese detail they perhaps got from one of them YouTube giveaways in front of me and then cancel the trade, or I keep getting connected to English users for an hour straight. But on Pokemon BDSP, you can trade your Pokemon from certain part of the world. If you ever took a deeper look at Pokédex, you will find that every time you trade Pokemon from different language game, the Pokédex entry is added in that language. So, if you are one of many people who learn languages via gaming, or someone who appreciates the localization effort behind each Pokemon names and such, it will be a neat feature for you. But the thing is, you cannot do anything else while you are trading. While you can walk around and hatch your Pokemon on Pokemon Sword, you cannot do that on Pokemon BDSP. But hey, this was a remake of an early generation game, so I don't think it matters to people who enjoy retro stuff. I feel bad for calling 2007 retro, but... Now that we covered what's good about this game, it's now time to get into bad things of the game. Con number 1. Customization and cosmetics. For me, character customization is important when playing a game. When not given much choice with choosing color palette or an outfit, I feel like I don't really have a control over my character, and that makes me a bit detached from the character. And in that sense, I really enjoyed other Pokemon games. You can mix and match, change your hair or eye colors, and even though you don't get as many choices in Let's Go EV, look at that, just look at that! But on this game, you cannot mix and match, you can only buy an outfit as a set. Oh, and hairstyle, oh that's cute. Keep dreaming. Boy, real men don't care about hairstyle. You have only one choice, tousled, unwashed, spiky boy hair. And if you're a girl, we can give you some wig style to our likings. You get no choice since you have terrible enough taste to choose to wear that ugly hat from the first place. Oh, that was a good tongue pop. And whenever you have your Pokemon out, your Pokemon is just shrinked, scaled down version of their original design. On the other hand, your character and the rest of the characters in the world have the head size of their entire body. They didn't bother to redesign the Pokemon, so there is this constant certain level of disconnection between your character and your Pokemon. The Pokemon does change its color if it's a shiny, but that's all. They didn't bother to redesign the Pokemons to match your character design. They just put it there, which I admit will not be an easy fit by itself, but this was a main title for Nintendo. People expect some level of finishing touch, but was it there? Con number 2. Movement. Since the Nintendo Switch controller supports all direction movement, my character could move freely as well. But it cannot move freely around objects because somehow there were invisible Mr. Mimes in every nook and cranny of every single bloody tree and rock in this game, resulting in bumping into invisible corners, making this weird noise. And even though this game was designed to venture into a deep cave, swim over a body of water and such, I didn't really feel like doing so because you bump into a wild Pokemon every time you take a few steps. You could use repellent, and once the repel wears up, they ask you, would you like to use another one? But pressing yes just gets so annoying. They had a perfect system underground. Why would they use random encounter when they have technology to make Pokemons walking around and you can choose not to battle them underground? Some people might be asking, but you said earlier that you play Pokemon Sapphire. They also had random encounter system. Why don't you like it now? Well, times have changed. People don't really have the same patience as before anymore. People watch TikTok, not as long as YouTube videos. Wait, does that mean nobody will watch this? And it's not just only that. Remember, you always enter the room Magikarp first, then switch to another Pokemon to get it evolved. With the introduction of experiencing sharing system, that is simply not needed. And as I said before, the Pokemon variety is not diverse in those random encounters, which means it seems repetitive. Therefore, the clunky movement combined with way too frequent unwanted random encounter with same old Pokemon is simply making moving around, let alone exploring, tedious and annoying. Con number 3. Characters. I was not really a fan of Pokemon animation even as a kid, and I am not someone who plays Pokemon for story. I play it because it somehow brings back childhood feelings and Pokemon are cute or cool. But Pokemon games always made sure they had fun making the game by hitting certain elements as an Easter egg or some sort of side quest storylines, and they always had peculiar characters in the game. And in Pokemon Let's Go, each character is likable since it's a kids game, except for that old man peering into a gym full of women, saying the gym is full of strong trainers. Okay. The game also has my favorite villains Jesse and James and Meowth. As a millennial, I just simply enjoy Team Rocket in the game, which is weird because I really dislike the Pokemon animation. I actually dislike it because of Ash Ketchum, I cannot stand them. And in Pokemon Sword, even though I cannot stand the champion, yes, the special one, Leon, just what's up with the beard and what's with the cape? And why people think he's cool? Are they just being nice to him? Anyway, your rival slash friend is Leon's baby brother Hop, and Hop, bless his heart. Hop grew up under the shadow of his special brother, forced to support the weird fashion choices and the late 2000 entitled influencer mindset because his big brother is the champion and a hero, and his mom is proud of him. Even though he did nothing but trolling our true hero Ryan. By the way, people really should stop coupling Ryan with Leon. Ryan is miles away from Leon's leg. Hop tries so hard to be the new champion and teach his older brother a lesson, but fails to do so because of his best friend, Yu, and loses his direction. Then he decides that he will become a Pokemon researcher. Child, this whole story was a journey of growth. You even end up liking Bide, the true rival of the story in some sense, and Olena, she ends up volunteering in a mine. I don't know what she's doing there, but she's helping out. And you even wonder what happened to Rose, and the game explains what happened to Rose and Leon. I don't really care about Leon. I didn't want his nasty Pokemon, by the way. I hate Charliger so much. But I did like the characters in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's a credit to the writers of the game. Then what about Pokemon Legends Arceus, which came out right after BDSP, and what happened in the same region as BDSP? And the characters in it are supposedly the ancestors of BDSP characters. I actually enjoy the characters in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Even Volo made me wonder if he's doing okay after all the shablama ding dang, and I did find Kamado and his potato mochi cooking teppanyaki ninja boyfriend Benny annoying, but they grew on me and made me want to battle them after the end of the game. The characters actually made me think that I somehow became attached to them in the short amount of time I played the game. They trusted you even though you just fell from the lift in the sky, and they fear what you might be. Some of them go as far as outcasting you, but others support you whatsoever and help you come out as a hero. Sounds familiar? Then let's take a look at BDSP. This boy here will be your rival in this game. And I made a big mistake of naming him Timmy as an ode to Timmy and Tommy from Animal Crossing, and I was working on my secondary island and I just had to take it out on the other Tommy. This boy has all the grace of a reversing dump truck with any tires on, and he needs lessons on grace and decorum. He cannot stay still, pushes people around, and never apologizes. Just say sorry, how hard is it? He offers absolutely no help, shows no personal growth, and the other one, the girl, or the boy if you choose the girl, she just shows up here and there, gives you some items and installs some applications on your pockets. That's it. She's what drag queens on Drag Race would refer to as a filler queen. She ain't even a queen, she's not stunning. And this guy, the bad guy, he has no personality like at all, and his little minions, they have names of planets since they work for Team Galaxy. Cool. And the big bad guy doesn't have a name. The game just wants to know that he a bad man, and he just says whatever would make him look cold and indifferent. But alright, hold up. Did this man really just refer the miner to a remarkable specimen? Hey, boss, is your name by any chance Peter, and is your last name Pyle? I mean, I learned later his name is Cyrus, but I don't care. I didn't find any of the characters in this game relatable or likable or memorable, and that's a given when none of them shows you barely any facial expression and only expresses their emotions with a square box with an exclamation mark in it above their head. Even the mom, like, after you become the champion, she doesn't say anything. She just drags you into the house like you're gonna get the beating of your lifetime and the screen darkens. Just one more con. I swear this is the last one. Pokage. Why? Just why? I still don't understand why they would go all the troubles of designing this clunky big annoyance on the right corner of the screen and also designing all the quests and NPCs for this watch thingy. The only use for this is when you have to use skill default, or when you are chasing that one Pokemon that got away. I don't know, the pink one. They look the same because all the other features can be used in your menu, or you just click at the water and that beaver looking like Pokemon will just like take you above the water. It might have been a cool concept if Switch was a device with two screens like Nintendo DS, but it is not. They could have made actual Pokage if they thought this was a cool idea. They did the same with Monster Ball controller in Let's Go. I bought it. Or if they made an app for Pokage on their Nintendo Online app. Don't start with not every kid has a smartphone. If a kid doesn't have a smartphone, chances are the kid doesn't have Nintendo Switch either. And the color scheme and design of Pokage doesn't really bode well with the in-game graphics. We have this soft, smooth 3D chibi graphics going on, and Pokage just shows the black and gray Atari screen your grandma might have played ping pong games on. I just hate this so much. I bought this game card case on Amazon thinking it was cool, and I realized it looked like Pokage and I stopped using it, and now I put all the games I don't care to play in the case. If Pokage had different design, even some color on its screen, it could have made a major difference, but it didn't. So obviously for me, the cons outweighs pros. But was this game that bad? Is this game so horrendous or awful by any means? Because this game in fact sold more than 14.92 million copies worldwide as of September 2022. So clearly, it sold well. And if you search the communities on the internet, you might be surprised to see that there still are people playing the game. Even though I personally don't like the game, I don't necessarily think the game was a bad game. If I had played Pokemon Diamond or Pearl, I might have looked over the cons I mentioned, such as movement, characters, and Pokage. Maybe not Pokage, I still hate that thing. I hate that thing so much. And those things would be just me reliving my childhood. Well, early adulthood, I guess. What I also had a problem with was the pricing of the game. If I didn't get the game from the deal, I would have paid the same price as I pay for other main titles of Nintendo Switch. So you're trying to tell me this game, which requires customers to download 3.2 gigabytes of data because they chipped out on the game card, the game that was not developed by the main studio of Nintendo but a subordinate company. The game that claims to be a remake yet looks like remastered version of the original title is worse the other Nintendo Switch titles such as Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing and such. I don't think. As I said, it is not an awful game that should be denounced. But I would only recommend buying this game with the full price if you are a workaholic I don't really care for and ask me which game you should get for your kid with the Switch. Or if you're somebody who never played any Pokemon games like at all on Nintendo Switch, because playing BDSP will make your experience of playing other titles slightly more enjoyable. So I don't really think I would go back to playing BDSP unless there is an event forcing me to play it, like special Pokemon or something like that. If you like BDSP, I hope you're not offended because it was my opinion and not the absolute truth. If you sat through this video, thank you for watching, and if you like this video or others for some reason, please be a lamb as cute as a wooloo and subscribe. Bye! Yeah, that was disgusting, sorry.